my old Kentucky home. Good night. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home. For my old Kentucky home far away.
Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead.
Yes.
Today is Garden Walk Day.
Yes, happy Tuesday, happy Garden Walk Day.
Absolutely.
We're excited to do this every Tuesday.
This is our favorite day of the week. Our favorite video for sure.
Yeah, and it's, you know, right now it's little changes, but I think soon it's gonna be so different every week that it'll be an amazing walk.
Well, and the wild thing is, I think it's little changes to us, but I think you all will be able to see quite the difference because we see this every day.
Yeah.
So you all having a week off. Y'all saw our tomatoes. If you haven't caught our video about staking, that was yesterday, or the previous video, whatever day it is, I don't know anymore. But you haven't seen all the other things, so we're super excited to show it all off. You know, it's the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly. Not everything's perfect.
Nope.
It ain't gonna be. If you see a garden that only sees thriving plants and not a single one that's not doing too hot, they ain't showing you something. So that's, you're gonna see that. We're gonna show you everything, but everything is literally a learning experience, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's that's all about gardening. You do things you know, you do things different, and you learn from them all. So that's kind of the aspect of our garden walk. Hopefully your all's gardens are looking good as well, and you have more good than bad.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be showing everything that we have. I'm trying to think of if there's anything that's gonna be left out. No, I don't think so. I think you're gonna get about everything today. So let's get right on into it.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Here we go. It is hot today.
It's not too bad. It's only not as hot as it's gonna be. It's like 75. Yeah, you can't see him, but you can hear him. Here, goats. Y'all be all right for a minute. All right, so first up.
All right, so we still got the celosia going. It's doing really well. It's beautiful. And it's probably my favorite thing that we're growing, even though these three things right here are the only three things that we have bought in this entire garden. So I don't want to fool you with that. We did not grow these. We had a whole video on it, making the flower beds. But these were not grown from seed by us. They were bought. And I'm still really proud of them. I mean, they're beautiful. So we got the celosia and the lilies and the caladium. The caladium is adjusting. It's okay. The bottom leaves are starting to wilt, but all the top mature leaves are doing good. So there's that. I want to add the pool into the weekly garden
the pool?
Because I love my pool.
Is it growing?
It is growing. We're getting more and more tubes every day. It's growing. That's our big 4-person tube, so that's really fun.
That's big.
We actually bought it for the lake when we go to the lake sometimes, and we do the tubing on the creek near us, so it's in the pool this year, and it's a lot of fun.
And I don't want to undermine what she just mentioned about us growing everything from seed. This is the first year that literally every plant that's in our garden was grown from us, including flowers. Yeah. Besides those 3 plants. And this is our first year with the greenhouse, but every year we've always bought our plants. We would try to start seeds inside. They would either not be hardened off correctly or something would happen, and whatever we started didn't make it.
Yeah.
So when I look at all the plants and what y'all are about to see, remember every single one of those was grown in our greenhouse, and the guineas just went nuts. Would cost about a total, I mean, we're looking at hundreds of dollars in plants that are over there, but it cost us a total, what, 30 bucks?
Yeah.
you know, when you count the seeds, seed packs, which we didn't use all of them, but really awesome. You know, you don't want to like toot your own horn very much, but I'm tooting it on this one because that is awesome, and I'm super proud of that fact. But yeah. I just thought that was really cool. I wanted to add on to that just a little bit. And I'm not ashamed to buy a plant from a store. Not at all. Not at all. When I see something like really different, like celosia that I don't have, or caladium that I don't have, then I love to look for different kinds of stuff and buy it. Yep. But vegetable wise, everything was started from seed. Yeah, and she's absolutely right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying from a store. We're just proud that we grew all of ours this time. So if everything dies, we might be going to grow some. Or buy some, I mean. Tell them about your zinnias. Oh, my zinnias, y'all. Look at these things. They are just killing it. Popping up everywhere, thriving. I love my zinnias. I think I'm going to do more flowers next year. I really enjoy looking at them and looking how pretty they are and how strong they are and how amazing they are and how much I need to just grow all the things, because look at these bad boys. Look at that, that was my favorite. Whew! Gotta love a Zach zinnia. All right, so we've got some of our pole beans that are here in our grow bags, and they're gonna grow up the fence, which will be really nice. Pretty excited about those. We had quite a few, but a lot of them didn't make it. I think they were getting eaten by something, probably the dog if I had to guess. But these are some of the last few that we have left, and they're doing really well, and they're still strong, so I'm excited for some pole beans. So yeah, those pole beans, they started off great in the greenhouse. They struggled a little when we got out. Honestly, we thought it was the grow bags. I'm still not convinced it's not the grow bags. I'm not 100% sold on them yet. I thought we really liked them at first, but I don't know. I'm iffy so far. I know they're great for potatoes, which is really their main purpose. But with their ventilation that they're supposed to have and the drainage, you would think they'd be a really good container item, but I don't know, I'm not sold. All right, so the tilled garden. Last week we showed you all that the zucchini and squash was kind of struggling and adjusting, and I asked your all's opinions. So what we boiled down to was mainly the soil that we had may have been lacking some nutrients and was causing them to get a little yellow and getting a little wimpy looking. So what we did is we actually added some Job's all-purpose plant food, which we love. When we start seeds, that goes into all of our starting mix and everything, and they're starting to look a lot better, so check these out. So not every single one has came back and looking like it's thriving like this one, but a lot have. You know, we're getting bigger. Some still have a little bit of yellowness, but they've all perked up, and I am excited about them. We've mentioned to you all that zucchini is about one of the easiest things you can grow, so for us to fail at it would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Kind of karma, if you say so, but they're all looking very well. You can see some there. And here's a guy that has already got a little bit of a flower going, which is a little soon, but it's okay with his delayed start that he had. That's unfortunately part of it, but they'll all kick back in. We still have some of the pole beans in the bags holding down our tarp because those little pins always break, but we're still good to go there. So one of our awesome viewers, she sent me some chocolate mint because she had just had an abundance of it, and she said that she has given so much away, but it's still taking over everything. So she sent us some clippings, and we planted it in one of our grow bags so that we won't have any trouble with it taking over anything. And it's still adjusting, it's transplanting, but like you got some down here that are doing well, and it's starting to come back to life, and this stuff smells amazing, which most of you probably already have chocolate mint, but it's my first time with it, and I'm in love with it. It is so great. So thank you to her. It is much appreciated. It's going to be a really good addition to the tea garden. Well, and it also took a really long travel time, so it's not even just so much as transplant, it's just trying to get used to being in a package and now being out in the air. But she said it was pretty hardy. We know mint is in general, so I'm sure it's the same, but I have no doubt that it'll just take right off in there. It's already looking a lot better. Now, the pumpkins and the sunflowers. So we just planted these last Thursday? Friday?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Whoa, I was way off. All right, so we just checked them. Nothing has really fully sprouted. I think we had 1 or 2 pumpkins that were.
And some sunflowers were.
Yeah, but the sunflowers are starting to kick it. And you know, if y'all grow your own sunflowers, you know they grow super fast. Seems like they grow a foot a day almost, and what it seems like when you're watching it. But they're starting to sprout, so that's exciting to see. And I'm sure the pumpkins will be right behind them. I think, what is it, about 10 to 14 day time span in between planting and then when you start seeing them sprout. So if you're planting pumpkins and you ain't seen them, you're good. They don't take a whole lot of time, but I'd say 2 weeks.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks is when you should start getting a little worried if you don't see a sprout. So hopefully next garden walk we'll be able to show you some sprouts there. But moving on to the ones that are growing the best, the raised beds and our pride and joys.
Yep.
Which they all are, but these are the big ones. So here's the pepper bed.
These are all the peppers. So we've got a whole bunch of peppers that were started from seed, and we struggled at first with them. They didn't want to germinate. You all know peppers are finicky, and we had to try some different methods with them, basically just keeping them really, really hot all the time. But then we transplanted them into this bed and they're all doing well. It doesn't look to us like they've grown much, but I think they've probably tripled in size. So we love our peppers and really hoping for some good success with them. None of them are struggling at all. I mean, there's no issues, there's no wilting, nothing like that. They're just smaller than we'd like them to be, but I think they'll catch up. Pretty confident that they will. And as long as they look healthy, then we'll just let them do their thing.
Yeah, and everything got the Job's all-purpose plant food when I did the zucchini and squash. So we did that in all the beds that we have, just to kind of give everybody that, I don't know, what do you say? Everything's been in here a month probably.
Yeah.
So just that month boost of food on top of everything else. But you know, now that I'm looking at them, everything is looking bigger than when we first did it, so I'm pretty happy about it.
The stalks are getting pretty strong too.
Yeah, this is my favorite bed. Yeah. I really want these to do
well.
We
love our peppers.
Moving on.
All right, we're going over here.
Going here. So here is where we got our onions, some of our onions. You can see this guy is really taking off. He's enjoying life over there. And then just right around the corner, all these guys are still doing well, but not near as good as him. I don't know, I mean, they're spaced out plenty. So I'm not 100% sure on why he decided that he was just gonna be the king today. And all these other guys are just gonna go on the same pace, but they still all look good. I think we're good in that aspect. We also have some loofah gourds over here, which we got a shadow.
Look here, my little okra baby. He's doing well.
We got that okra, and then we got an okra over here. And so the reason we planted these okra here is because these onions won't be here the whole time. So that okra is gonna have so much room to grow because they are ginormous once they get full size. And we love some okra, some fried okra. So they'll have plenty of room to grow, and they get really tall. So that's kind of one of the downfalls of putting them in a raised bed, because you're already adding extra height. But we'll see. I think it'll do just fine. Like I said, we've given it plenty of room in this bed to grow. We also have one random pepper here, which is a chocolate bell pepper. He's doing pretty good. He's actually probably the only pepper that looks like it's struggling a little bit on its growth, but he's in here by himself. And then our lettuce
is rocking.
Just keeps on growing.
We keep harvesting and it keeps rocking. Eventually we'll take it up for the summer, but it's still doing too well to do anything about. So we're just gonna let it rock until it rocks no more. Yep,
and these are tennis ball, which is M.I. Gardner, and then what is this, romaine?
Yep.
And then over here we have our Chinese red noodle beans, which we are gonna have to take some up.
They germinated so well, 100% germination rate.
Yeah, I just put one seed in each hole, and what, that's 7?
Yeah.
7 of them all sprouted out, which is gonna be way too many for this trellis to hold. But I was not banking on 100%, so way to go Baker's Creek there. And in all the seeds that we have, I think we had great germination with everything from them. But that is this bed. So we got lettuce, Chinese red noodle beans, onions, okra, and loofah gourds, and one little bitty chocolate bell pepper. Okay, now it's time to talk our first tomato bed, which is honestly the one that we're doing for all of our family. It's the Bonnie's Best tomatoes. So we just staked all of these, and these were actually the very first ones that we put in, and they're struggling. They are not doing as hot as we would like them to be. I'm not 100% sure what's wrong. Last week I showed you all, and I'll show you again. You can see we have some pretty bad curling going on. This one actually, out of most of them, looks the best. So you can see this guy. So a couple things about it. I had thought they were windblown, honestly, from the weather that we've had, but they're not coming back. So some are, some aren't. And honestly, it looks like the tops are off, and I'm not sure where that came from, but it's kind of showing that way, and that's really strange. But it's one of those things that Jen and I was talking about. You know, it's kind of like raising children. You know, people joke about their plants being their babies, but honestly, it's just like raising babies. When you start them in your greenhouse and you seed start them and everything germinates and everything looks great and it's in a controlled environment, your house, and they do so well, and you're like, these things are awesome. You know that you might have minor setbacks like getting a little leggy, but then you just repot them and they're good to go again. You have so much control over the plants when they're in the greenhouse, but when you bring them outside, it's like putting your children out into the real world. And they have the elements of the wind, the weather, and things that you have no control over. And sometimes they don't do so hot. They get scrapes, they get bruises, they go, you know, hospital trips and different lines of that you wish that you can control, but you just can't on everything. So back to my tomatoes, I'm getting out of the real life scenario of raising plants, because in so many ways you can relate to that and connect it to your real life on how things go. You know, we have 2 small children that are still in our house that are in a controlled environment. And it's that fear of when they get older and you send them out into the real world, you hope it's the plant that gets beat up but comes back to life, and not the one that goes down. So that's what's happening to our tomato plants right now. Just these, just the Bonnie's Best that we put out first, which I'm pretty much scratching it up that we just brought them out about a week early, because our other tomato bed and all of our other plants look great. We've gave it the Job's all-purpose food to try to bring it back. The watering has been correct. They're staked up. We planted them in the ground the right depth. We've pruned correctly without making sure any tops got chopped off or any lines of that. Some just didn't come back, but I'll show you, give you a little bit closer look here. So you can see with this guy, everything's really curled. He's having a hard time trying to come back. He's not dead, not yet, but he is on the struggle bus. So we're not gonna take him up because he's not affecting any of the other plants. But you know, like this guy, he looks good. He's starting to come back from it. So we'll see. The rest of the bed is looking very well. Everything is thriving for the most part. And they're all staked up now. See, here's one. He is so curled up and he's even turned over. I don't know, if you all do truly know what that is, please tell me. But it is, I'm marking it up for windblown and just not able to recover. Because you can see it's definitely not impacting all of our tomatoes that are over here.
So this is the same bed with some of the tomatoes that aren't doing the hottest, and we have our cucumbers, which are shooting off their male flowers, and they're all doing really well. So initially we thought maybe it's the bed, you know, maybe something's wrong with this bed or there's an issue. And then I even went as far as to say maybe the cucumbers are taking all the water from the tomatoes. But I don't think that's the issue either, because the tomatoes that are closest to the cucumbers are the ones that look the best. The ones that are farther away at the end of the bed are the ones that are struggling. So I don't know, we're at a loss. Let us know if you have any suggestions or ideas. Maybe you've been through this, and then we'll show you the next bed.
Get that one out of your brain now, because this is a thriving bed of tomatoes right here. We planted these a week later. That was another thing I was gonna say. The Bonnie's Best were huge starts. They took off and thrived an incredible amount in the greenhouse and were ginormous. All of these are our varieties. So this is the ones with white cherries, brandywines, pink ox hearts. Let's see, we got some regular cherry tomatoes. The what is Aunt Ruby's German green tomatoes, and a couple more. But as you can see, there is not a single plant in here besides maybe this guy, which he's just small, that isn't thriving 100%. But when we planted these, the starts were half the size of the Bonnie's Best. And you know, whenever you go to the store, you're gonna see the larger plants are more expensive than the smaller ones. But I'm telling y'all right now, I'm taking this down as a lesson learned that there is too big of a start, and it's going to give it too much of a transplant shock. And that might be something that you all have seen as well, but these are already bigger than the Bonnie's Best. So they started smaller, they were planted in the ground, smaller, and a week later, and they're thriving and bigger and better than any of the Bonnie's Best.
Look at the stock on this guy.
That's a brandywine.
They're awesome. They're very healthy. So yeah, these are not struggling. No,
not at all. And I love this bed. I love coming out here and looking at this bed. It's our pride and joy. We've pruned it well. Everything's good to go. Honestly, we're just ready for it to start flowering and giving us some fruit. We're gonna keep tying up. That's one thing I missed in the video. For anybody that doesn't stake and tie, so we gave the first tie. But as the stalk grows taller and up the tobacco stick, we're going to continue to tie it because your tops will eventually fall over. So just an FYI, I didn't mention that in the last one. But this bed is looking great. We do have 3 peppers in here, which is also our best peppers. We have a Jimmy Nardello and 2 Autumn Bells that are doing really well. And then our 4 Comfrey on the end, which is all looking really well. But favorite bed right here for show.
All right, and here's my tea garden bed, which everything's doing well. That's the fenugreek and the hyssop, and my tiny baby lavender is slowly but surely growing. It probably doesn't look much bigger to y'all, but I examined it and it is getting bigger. And then the marigolds, which are doing well. Licorice basil. All my chamomile is really starting to look good. The lemon balm is doing great. All my dandelions are strong and tall, and they've got strong stalks on them. And then my lemon mint. So everything's doing good. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but that's the only bed we don't have issues with, so.
She's proud of that tea garden.
I am.
Okay, now that we got horn tooter out of the way, time to talk about, no, I'm just kidding. She deserves to toot that own horn. So this bed is our Homestead collection beets, and then also our bush beans. So not a whole lot to update here. The beets we're just watching, like we had mentioned before, we threw them in late. It's starting to get hot around here throughout the day, so not sure how long they'll last, but they are growing strong. Everything looks good, so we're gonna keep hoping and praying that those beets go on there. I can't wait to see Jen hopefully be able to can those and then burn them up for Thanksgiving. That'll be really cool. You can also do a lot of different things with them, but always seems that's your top time when beets start coming around. But the bush beans are looking good. Got a little, I'm seeing a little dirt splatter, which we need to take care of. Maybe throw a little bit more mulch down. But one thing you're gonna notice here, not much of a bug issue so far. We've had a few plants get attacked, mainly the broccoli, but very minor, which we'll show you now. Let's go check out this broccoli. So this bed's been cool. It's been kind of an experiment bed on different things that are in here. We've got some good, some bad, and some ugly all on this one.
So you can see the broccoli is huge, and it's already, a few of them are already putting off their broccoli heads. And most of them, like this one doesn't, well, there's one little spot.
One little bitty hole.
But like this one, this guy is getting eaten, and it's not aphids. I mean, there's no flea beetles, there's no hornworms.
Might be caterpillars.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see them either though.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to catch whatever it is. Not in the act.
But it's not a bad enough problem to where we're concerned.
No. I mean, they'll do fine. And I still feel certain that they'll grow their broccoli and produce, because this bed is almost full shade all the time. That's why we put all this here. Cauliflower, however, has bolted.
Yep.
The plants were just too small and they started to send off their seeds because they thought they were dying. And that's okay, we'll try again next year.
And I have pretty good confidence that these will end up bolting as well.
Yeah.
Which that one's already starting to. The plants just aren't big enough to already start having the heads on them.
And here we have all kinds of radishes coming up. Also some weeds, but I've never grown radishes, so I don't know what's weeds and what's radish. So I'm not gonna pick any of it, and we'll just see where it goes.
Oh, show them what we found this morning on the other side.
Oh yeah, there's some more radishes. And some more here. And here we've got some chard. Our Swiss chard's finally coming up. So that'll be interesting. And I think I'm just gonna, I thought about taking all this out because we were a little worried about the disease that we direct sowed, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. We've got plenty of other room for stuff, honestly. So we're just gonna leave it and see what happens, see what comes up. If nothing does, that's fine too. And we'll go from there.
But yeah, another cool thing about that bed, that's gonna be the first one harvested and taking everything out, so that'll be our first winter bed when it comes time. So now, y'all, pea pallet trellis. So we're done with peas. We harvested a bunch today and we got a lot out, but a lack of that chicken wire a little too late in the game for them to climb up caused them to bunch together at the bottom, and we started to get a little on the dead side. However, we got a lot of peas out of it. You can see these. See how they stayed down there? And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think that that's the case here in just a second. So here's our other ones. We still have quite a few peas that are on there, but you can see that they're basically going down as well. But the reason I think it was the trellis not having chicken wire, because they tried to grow up it, but they couldn't get a hold of the pallet things. But when I got the chicken wire on, look who did start thriving. So he is doing great and caught on and is moving up and is still producing peas like wildfire. So if you did a pallet trellis and you threw some peas on it like I suggested, like we did, get you some chicken wire on there so I can grab it real quick. The trellis still works just fine. It just needs something smaller for it to hold on to. I am not blaming this on container gardening. I'm blaming it on my chicken wire, because I still, as we can see, I have full faith that container gardening for peas will work just fine. Just make sure you have some chicken wire on your pallet trellis and you'll be good to go.
All right, in this pallet trellis, we have all our Be It Alpha cucumbers, and you can tell they are doing good. They're doing really well. Very proud of them. They were started from seed and they just shot right up there. So we also have some lettuce here in the shade that has probably quadrupled in size since the last time you saw it. And then we have more cucumbers over here. So we had talked about getting rid of the peas, and I think I'm actually gonna do some more planter boxes at the bottom and add some more cucumbers. We love cucumbers. We do pickling, all kinds of stuff. Wyatt loves them with his lunch, and you can never have enough. We can't, at least. So I think that's my plan. I think we're gonna put some planter boxes at the bottom and direct sow some more cucumbers and get those going. Last but not least, here we have the hydrangeas, which were also bought. I did not grow these. Bought them at the store, transplanted them here with some chicken manure, and they're doing really well. They're beautiful.
They are so awesome. They literally change color. Well,
whoa.
We zoomed in. So those things are so cool. I love looking at them because literally every day they're a different color.
Okay, baby, hang on.
All right, hang on one second. We got a little chip dog issue. Apparently the dog spilt the chips.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. I'm pretty sure they've been out here the whole time. But those flowers are awesome. They're like chameleons. Is that how you say it?
Mm-mm.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
It's a chameleon.
Is it?
Yeah, the lizard that changes colors.
Huh.
I'm pretty positive. They'll let us know. Anyways, I love how it changes colors. I think that's so cool depending on the temperature and the soil temperature. It's just really neat. I love those.
Yeah.
Whew, what a tour. I hope y'all made it to this point, to the end, because y'all have officially seen all of our plants that we have going on right now.
Yep.
It's been
except for the flowers on the front porch.
Oh yeah, except for I have more zinnias out there. I got zinnias everywhere. But it's been a lot of fun. We wanted to make sure you all saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like I said, we have tomatoes that are thriving, we have tomatoes that are struggling. But other than that, I mean, really everything else is doing great besides the peas and that one bed of tomatoes. And it's really just a few plants.
Yeah.
It's not even all of them. So I'm not worried if we lose a few. It happens, unfortunately. Like I've told you all before, sometimes it's okay to pot up a plant so it doesn't ruin the entire bed, which we may be getting there with some of these tomatoes. We do have a few that we haven't sold, so we might throw them in there just to replace them. But I'm happy. I think the garden is doing great. What about you?
So. I think it's doing really well. I think it's our most successful year yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one other thing I wanted to say was we're doing some small but big changes on our channel. You've probably noticed music changes, and we're working on stepping up our editing game. Most of you know that we are not good with technology at all, but we're trying and just trying to tweak some things a little bit and maybe make it a little bit more interesting and, I don't know, just fun.
Yeah, so we hope y'all are enjoying it. If you do like some of the music, Nicholas Jamerson is his name. He is a local guy. He played the Mild Kentucky Home song that we played when we were staking out plants. So you'll start hearing more and more of his music. We love him. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, he'll be in every description that we have from here on out. Just kind of checking that part out. But yeah, we're going to try to get up to a little bit more game playing style here, since it seems you all like our content, which we are so thankful for. So we want to make sure that the video quality and editing is up to the standards y'all deserve as well.
Yep.
So
thank you all, and we will see you next time.
See ya.